Hello, my friends. Welcome to CFTC. My name is Aiden, and today I would like to speak to you about falling off our spiritual path. As you can see, I'm out here walking on this beautiful path in San Francisco Flats. And I thought it'd be a perfect time to turn on my camera and do a little talk for you. So let's talk about falling off our spiritual path and how we can get back on or find our way back once we do. First, we have to clarify the misconception that we can actually fall off our spiritual path. From the time that you were born until this point in your life, you have been walking a path. Some people call it life's path, some people call it the spiritual path. And sometimes we sway to the right, and sometimes we sway to the left. Sometimes we make right turns, we make left turns. Sometimes we go backwards. But if you were to look back at that path, you would see that it's one continuous path. You don't step off to the right and step onto your spiritual path and then decide I'm going to step back over to my life path. It's one path. So since you can't actually fall off your spiritual path, you can, however, sway to the right and sway to the left. So let's look at some steps you can take to help you keep from swaying from your path. The first step I want to talk about is becoming aware of our negativity. How negative are you in your daily life? Are you aware of the fact that negativity is rooted in the ego? Sometimes we find ourselves wanting other things that people have. We become filled with desires or needs of the things that we don't have that other people do. Or sometimes we feel like we're better than somebody or that we're worse than somebody. We compare ourselves to what other people are doing, what other people say, how other people look, what they have, who they're dating, who they're married to. This is the cause of so much negativity in people's lives. So when you become aware, mindful of those negative moments, we're able to push those thoughts aside, gently thank them for coming. Thank you for making us aware that we have an ego. But I don't need you. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to keep a bright outlook. I'm going to move past this thought and move on to my next positive thought. The second step that you can take when you sway off your spiritual path is to take a moment to reflect back on what it was that caused you to sway from your path to begin with. Look back at the last couple of weeks, the last couple of days, the last couple of hours. What was it that caused you to sway from your path? Was it a certain event that triggered something inside of you? Is it a group of people or a certain person that caused you to sway from your path? If so, are those the kind of friends or people you want in your life? By reflecting back, we're able to learn what it is that can trigger us to sway from our path and help us in the future to avoid such obstacles. The third step we can take to keep from swaying off our spiritual path is to take up multiple spiritual practices. You can take up meditation, yoga, mindfulness, practice reading spiritual books or self-help books, being of service to your community, anything that you use on your spiritual path. We need to practice multiple means of growth and development. The reason being, for example, let's say you wake up in the morning and you usually have a daily routine of meditating. But this particular morning you wake up a little bit negative, so you decide, I'm going to skip that. I'm not going to meditate. It's not going to do me any good. You get up and you start your day. A few hours later you're at work and you realize that you started off your morning on a negative foot. So you decide, okay, I'm going to go to that lunchtime yoga class and get back on track. Because you're practicing multiple practices, you're able to put yourself back on that path that you practice. And then later that day, you're mindful of what you're having for dinner. You settle down, read your spiritual book. And then at bedtime, you meditate, make up for what you missed in the morning. So practicing multiple spiritual practices gives you accountability for those skip times, for those, I don't feel like doing it times, or for those simple, I forgot to do my meditations this morning. The fourth step that we can use to help us when we stray from our path, or to help us keep from straying from our path, is to surround yourself by like-minded people. People who are also practicing walking their spiritual path, developing their personal growth. By doing so, you find people who are sharing in your ideas, in your philosophies, in your beliefs. Or maybe they have beliefs of their own that you're interested in. So you share and you learn together, taking what you need and giving what other people are looking for. If you find yourself in a situation where a friend or a colleague isn't exactly walking the path that you want to walk, isn't as influential as you would like, sometimes it's better to let go of that hold, break that connection that you have with someone, and find somebody who will fill that gap. Your time on earth is precious, and you don't want to waste it with the wrong people. So surround yourself with like-minded people, people who share your ideas, who will support you, and who you in turn can support back. By surrounding yourself with like-minded people, it gives you the ability, the means to become active in your community. Being a closet spiritualist is great for some people, but human interaction is something that we all need. And when we interact with the people just like us, you'll find it much easier to interact with people just like yourself than it is to try to explain what it is that you're doing to someone who's just a brick wall in your path. So I would suggest that you surround yourself with like-minded people and break those ties with those who aren't. And finally, remember that life is a ride. Just like a roller coaster, life has its ups and downs. Sometimes we think there's more downs than more ups. But with every down, there is a new up, a new beginning, a new lesson that we've learned. Thank you for joining me here this morning, sharing my cool, brisk walk here in Florida, where the temperature this morning is about 55 degrees. I look forward to speaking with you again. Go in peace. Namaste.